Hi everybody, it's Rachel, aka the Nail Therapist, back here on YouTube. Today we're going to look at a client of mine who has taken a break from me for a little bit over the summer and had Keryflex nails put on top of her fungal nails against my advice. So you'll get to see what they look like after I remove them. Okay, so we're going to look at removing the Keryflex nails. I'll be talking a little bit about the tools I'm using, and then I'll go into why I think the Keryflex system is not good for fungal nails. I'm using the Pedicure carbide tapered barrel bit from Erica's ATA to remove the actual Keryflex nail because it has deeper teeth and it can really remove that gel faster than just a regular carbide bit or even a diamond bit. Just FYI, if you are somebody who's interested in learning how to work on toes with fungus or feet with fungus, please sign up for my Mastering Nail and Foot Fungus online course. There's a wait list to get on. It's in the description box, and I should be releasing it in the next couple of months. I only have a few more things to really wrap up with that course, and I can't wait to get started with that. If you're interested in getting any of the bits that I feature in my video today, go to Erica's ATA and save 10% using the code REVIVE10. Again, this is the Pedicure tapered carbide bit, or I guess I should say the Pedicure carbide tapered barrel bit, excuse me. And it does a really good job of removing the gel that's thicker without damaging the actual nail underneath. Her nails are almost completely destroyed by fungus even before she had these artificial enhancements put on. And it surprises me that this doctor's office would allow her to put them on in the first place because of how affected her nails already are. One, her nails were very thin because we had been trying to reduce the thickness in order to treat the fungus. So there wasn't a lot to even put on her nail in the first place. And two, if you leave these types of artificial enhancements on for a long time, it runs the risk of trapping moisture and causing not only an increase in your fungal infection, but also a bacterial infection called pseudomonas. So we call it the greenies, which I had in another video just recently. I had a client who had another nail put on somewhere else, and she got bacterial infection under both of her nails. I did advise her not to go forward with getting the nail enhancements, but you're in your early 30s and you want to go out on the beach and you want to have cute toes or whatever it is. I get it. You don't want to have your fungal toes hanging out. But she should have removed them a lot faster than what she's left them on for about 5 weeks. So that was way too long. The original idea behind these nail restoration systems is not to cover up a fungal infection, but to provide a way for somebody who has a damaged nail or a couple damaged nails that just aren't growing, or they had to have some of it removed for some reason and it just doesn't grow back, but otherwise healthy nail, to have a way to look more normal, to look more aesthetically pleasing. They're not designed to sit on top of fungus, even though, you know, the companies will say it's quote unquote antifungal because they have maybe tea tree oil or something inside the actual formula of the gel. Whenever you put anything that can trap moisture on top of the nail, you're setting yourself up for a risk of contracting a fungus or a bacterial infection. And there's really no way around it, especially if you have already damaged nails from a fungal infection where the nail plate is eaten through in several areas. It's not a solid, firm plate. Then it's going to be even harder for the artificial nail enhancement to adhere and also protect the nail. So if you are thinking about getting these Keryflex nails or another system, just know that it's better to have them over top of healthy nails that are damaged and not over top of fungal nails. Right, so after we removed the nail enhancement, you can see just how dark the underlying nails are with the fungal infection. The pinky toe and the second toe are relatively clear. The second toe I don't think has any fungus on it, and I think the pinky toe is pretty good too. But the first, the third, and the fourth are all very infected. And I'm just going through here after having applied some softener to the nails to remove some of the really loose bits, and taking the nippers to, there's a little hole in the nail that I'm trying to snip off so that I can get to the underlying nail layers. You can kind of see where that lip is right there. I want to try and make sure that that gets taken away so I can get to the infection underneath. So for my cleaning part, I use these tools from Famalife. It's on Amazon. They're also in the description. This is the sidewall lifter. It has the little scoop ends. And then the other piece that comes with it is the serrated edge of for the ingrown toenail rasp. I couldn't think of the word. Which you'll see me pull out later on in the pedicure. My favorite nippers are these Stalex Pro nippers with the half jaw. They are super sharp. They are very accurate. They are great in the hands. They don't overtake the nail. They don't dull easily at all. Even after snipping through nails, they can snip through the skin just as easily. So I've found that those have been my favorite. I found that when working with this new camera that I'm trying to record with right now, that if I take longer duration video, the clarity and the sharpness of the video becomes like fuzzy, like this. And I don't know why that would happen. I don't know if it's because my hand moves in and out of the foreground and it just doesn't refocus or what, but I found that if I take shorter bursts of video, it stays focused and more sharp. So apologies. Stay with me though, there's more focused video later on. You can see that even just after leaving some cuticle softener on her nail plate is just fraying as I pull down to sweep the debris out of the sidewalls. So it gives you a good understanding of what type of situation these nails are in and why it's not a great idea to put artificial nails on top. Okay, it annoys me more than you know to see this when I'm playing back my video, that you can't see the details of this video, because right now I'm picking out all this caseous material that's just like cheesy, soft, eaten away nail that the fungus has just gone nuts on. And so that's why I'm trying to snip out and trying to pull out as much as I can. But you can tell like the side of the nails are destroyed. The length obviously isn't there. And in the next little bit, when I pull out my e-file to smooth it out, you'll see, you'll be able to see a little bit better the way that the fungus has damaged the nails. Okay, so now I have the Safety Top carbide tapered barrel. This is my usual go-to bit where I thin out thicker nails or damaged nails. And we're just going to use this to remove a lot of the damaged fungal nail and smooth out some of the other nails that are maybe a little wavy or ridged. And this also is good for removing any hard calloused skin around the area. You just have to be very gentle with the skin because it's not a diamond bit, it will eat away the skin a lot faster. If you or someone you know is dealing with a nail fungus, one of the best things you can do is to file the thickness of the nail down, at least halfway. If you can go further, probably that would be good, as long as it doesn't end up hurting you or the person you know, because your nail bed can kind of get sensitive if you take off too much nail all at once. But you want to remove as much of the fungal nail as you can, so that whenever you put whatever topical treatment that you're going to use on the nail, it actually penetrates into the area where the fungus is living. If you have that hard keratinized surface on top and you put the fungal treatment on, it's not going to penetrate and it's not going to clear the nail. So every week or so, you want to reduce the thickness of the nail, clean it really well with like a nail brush, get that nasty debris out, that loose skin or fungal junk, that cheesy sort of debris. Get that cleaned out as much as you can, and then put your treatment on twice a day. That way you are staying on top of it and it's not going to eat away more of the nail throughout the week. Another thing you can do is daily vinegar soaks. So you want to do hot water, as hot as you can handle. Obviously don't scald yourself. combination of 50% water, 50% vinegar, and it can be any kind of vinegar. So just go with, the typical distilled white vinegar. It's cheap and easy. And just let your feet sit in the vinegar soak for 15 minutes. And do this. If you can do it once a day, that's ideal. But I say try and get to 3 or 4 times a week. And that's going to help kill off the fungus as well and keep the bottoms of your feet and in between your toe spaces clear of fungus if you haven't already gotten athlete's foot. And we're just going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to soften the nails with some cuticle softener and thin out the nails as much as we can without hurting the client. And then have her soak a little bit so we can clean out the debris a little bit more before the end of the pedicure. What you see me removing right now is still remnants from the Keryflex. It's not part of her actual nail. I just didn't want to take off all the Keryflex when I was reducing it because I knew this nail was so brittle underneath. So I wanted to be extra gentle with her and make sure that I didn't damage her nail or cut in too deep and risk cutting her. As you can see, all of her toenails on this foot have been affected in some way, shape, or form. Her pinky toenail is the least affected, but there is still a little bit on there. These middle toes are what we call a total dystrophic onychomycosis. So they cover the entire toenail, and probably the matrix of the nail has been affected at this point on some level. So really hoping that we can get her cleared up if she's consistent with her treatment and her pedicures. She does not want to take the pills, which is why she's coming to see me. And so we're going to just do our best. Originally, I had this all just one solid video piece, but I cut it up a little bit to remove some of my hand in the way. And when I came back to do editing the other day, everything was sideways, so I had to change it all over. And so that's why you keep seeing it kind of go up and down, up and down, up and down, because I had to refocus the video. It never happened before. Don't know why it happened this time. Just always an adventure with this editing stuff. You know, back in the day, I went to school for film originally when I first went off to college. I took 1 year of film and I realized how tedious it is to sit in an editing room. And I said, no, I don't want to do this for a living. You know, cut ahead, what am I, 25 years later, and now I'm sitting in my own editing room in my living room doing editing, and it's tedious. So, but at least it's content that I enjoy. So at this point, the feet have soaked in the water, rinsed off that dust, and softened the nails up a little bit more along with the skin. And so I'm taking the ingrown toenail rasp and I'm dragging it down from the proximal nail edge to the distal nail edge to see if anything it loosens up and wants to just remove easily. I'm not pressing hard. I'm not doing anything that's poking into her nail bed because you don't want to damage the nail bed further. just going along gently and seeing if anything just loosens up. And as you can see, it wants to because, like I said, these nails are pretty affected. You may notice that really dark brown blackish streak up the left side of this toenail. I believe that that is just the fungus. There is a type of fungus called Melanechia. Um, well, Melanechia is like the umbrella term, but there's something called fungal Melanechia, and basically it turns the nail black as it eats away. She did not have that black streak before she got the fungus, so I have told her that it might behoove her to have it checked out just to make sure that it's nothing to worry about. She doesn't seem very worried about it. Okay, so this is a new bit that I've been using. Erica's ATA just released it about 2 months ago, and I love it. I usually before then used the nib bit, which is like a football shaped bit, and this is called the soft flame. It is a less pointy version of a flame bit, which is typically seen use it for Russian manicures to get up underneath the proximal nail fold. But this is great because it's skinny, but it's not super pointy. It's got like more of a dull point. And so you can get in the sidewalls, you can still get in those deep corners of the nail pockets really easily, and it cleans off the cuticle super well and a lot faster than that nib bit does because it covers more area. When you have a very extensive nail fungus, you may also have athlete's foot. So I'm using the long and lean tapered barrel to go in between her toes in the webbing here where she's got some peeling occurring to help remove that dead, dry skin that's peeling up. There are lots of other bits that you can use to do this. I just happened to grab the tapered barrel. I don't recommend using a big foot file because it does end up tearing up the skin a lot and you can't always get into the nooks and crannies. When you are drying your foot post shower or foot bath, use a clean towel that you haven't used before and get in between the webbing of the toes and make sure that you dry extensively between each toe so that you don't have any moisture for the fungus to thrive on. Okay, because once you put that moistness back in a sock or in a shoe, then it's like heyday for the fungus. You want to make sure they're dry. You can even buy a medicated powder or some sort of natural powder to absorb sweat if you need to. And make sure that everything is super dry so that the fungus has the least chance of surviving. After I'm done drying in between her toes and her feet, I'm using my topical called Remedy, which is an all-natural antifungal, I guess, drop or liquid. And I'm rubbing it into the nail and also in the skin between the toes. If she were to use this topical at home, she would need to let it absorb completely before putting her shoes and socks back on, or also apply a foot powder to absorb any of the liquid in between her toes. But you just want to let it absorb as much as you can before putting anything back on your feet. After applying this, we just did a little moisturizing of the legs and sent her on her way in a pair of clean flip-flops. Upcoming are the before and afters. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with me today, and I will see you next time.